even or odd counter. So how do you determine if a number is odd or even? Well, you can take its remainder after you divide it by 2. So if you took 4 divided by 2, there's no remainder, so we know that that is even. If you take 5 and divide it by 2, we have a remainder of 1, so we know that 5 is odd. Yeah, so let's see if we can express that in some code. So let's run this program again. I'll leave this over here. Right, let's make a new file and close this one. Okay, so let's try and deconstruct the problem, and we'll do print even, odd. So we know what program we're using, and we can say, let's say number equals 7, and we just want it to print odd. So print number modulo 2. Now modulo is the remainder after a division operator, so this should print out the number 1. Okay, so 1 comes out. Why is that? Because number divided by 2 is 1, so the result of the remainder of 7 divided by 2 is 1, so this is 1. If we were to change this to 6, we should get 0, because the remainder of 6 divided by 2 is 0. So therefore we can use this operator to determine the value of a number. So let's say, determine whether a number is odd or even by using an if. So instead of printing out that, we can say if number modulo 2 is equal to 0. That if statement describes an even number, because if the number divided by 2 remainder of that number is 0, it means that it's an even number. Even, else print odd. Right, let's test this one. Okay, we've got even come out. I'm actually going to get rid of this. It's a little bit confusing. So we'll just have this. Okay, so we've got even, and change that to a 9. Odd. 2017. Okay, works with really big numbers as well. That's also odd. So let's go back to the specifics of this challenge, and it says, ask the user to enter a positive number or integer. Use a while loop from count 1 up to that number, and keep going until we do all the numbers up to the number we type in. So let's go back to ours and let's try that. So instead of calling this number, I'm going to make let's keep it called number. It's a good name for a number. I'm going to make another variable called limit. So limit equals int input. We know what that does, and we're going to say enter a limit. So the program is going to keep looping until we get to this limit. So again, if we want something to loop, we need to make a loop construct. In this case, it's a while with a condition. So while number is less than or equal to limit. Okay, so we're going to keep doing something to number until it gets to equal to limit. I'm going to run this because we're going to get some sort of weird behavior happening here. We've got a syntax error. Oh, I'll put a random colon there. Let's get rid of that. And that was never closed. Oh, that's what I did. I put a colon instead of a bracket. Enter a limit. Let's go up to 99. Okay, number is not defined. Why not? Because did I delete it? I did. And I've got that in capitals. Oh, having some issues today. Number equals 1. Try Enter a limit, 99. Okay, odd, 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 odd. Not all the numbers up to 99 are not odd, so something weird's happening here. And what's actually happening is we're not adding one to number each time. So let's do that, otherwise we're going to have this infinite loop going on. Enter a limit. Let's make a more reasonable limit. Let's go 17. Okay, so we've still got an infinite loop. Why is that? Let's run it again. Ah, I know what's happening. I'm setting number to 1 every single time inside this loop. I didn't delete it, I just moved it. That's silly. So let's put it there. So you can see that we encounter problems a lot when we're programming, and I'm being a bit silly today. Let's run that program again and hope this works. So let's go up to 19. Okay, there we go. So odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, and so on. And what would be really helpful is to put the actual number next to it. So we could say number is even, number is odd. Okay, fingers crossed this works. Let's have a look. Enter a limit. Let's go up to 29. Okay, there we go. 1 is odd, 2 is even, 3 is odd, and so on. 17 is odd, yep. 28 is even, 29 is odd, and we stopped at the limit. Right, we got there on the end.